There are some among us who think that by not knowing black history, they can escape it. Oh, that happened 300 years ago. And it got nothing to do with what we're doing now. You cannot be more wrong. In fact, when I talk about the evolutionary history of African people, you must recognize that you represent the evolutionary history of basic life on Earth. You never escape your history. History is ever present in the human mind. We are the result of history. The shape of your brain, the shape of your body, the whole thing is a result of historical evolution. History is represented in every pore and every part of your being. You don't escape history. Your ignorance of it doesn't mean you've escaped it. As a matter of fact, the more ignorant you are of your history, the more you are its victim. The less you know about the history of Africans, and the less you know about the history of African Americans, the more you are victimized by that history. Ignorance is a real force. It is not an absence of knowledge. It is a real force. It has concrete results. You see, ignorance is not a lack of something. It is a presence of something. You know, sort of like in physics where we talk about antimatter. Seems almost a contradiction in term, but yet it is dealt with as a real particle in physics. Antimatter. What do we mean then being victimized by ignorance of history? Many people don't want to read history because, and particularly African American history, because if they read about slavery, they get angry, upset. Some may feel some shame and guilt and self-doubt and other kinds of things. And since these feelings are unpleasant, they want to avoid reading the history and avoid the knowledge. But look at what's happening then. If you don't want to read that history, and if you try to deny the history, it means then that your life becomes motivated by denial. In other words, denial itself, denial of reality, becomes a defining force in your life. If you don't read that history because you are afraid to feel shame or guilt, then it means that you have organized your life to escape shame and guilt. That means you're motivated by what? Fear. You understand what I'm saying? So the absence of knowledge means that you're being motivated by negative forces and you organize your life around negatives. In a sense, then, the life becomes organized around escape, denial, distortion, avoidance, which means then you are even more influenced, but now in a negative way, by history that you don't even know. That's why at the very foundations of mental health is a knowledge of reality. We measure mental illness by the degree to which the individual is out of touch with reality. And if you do not know the reality of the history of African American people, you do not know the reality of your own history and of your own personality. And to the degree that you lack knowledge of that history, to that degree you are suffering from mental maladjustment. Your behavior then becomes a puzzle to yourself. And you walk around, why do I act like this? Why do black folk behave like this? It's no mystery when you know the history. when you understand your experience. But when you deny knowledge of yourself and you refuse to know yourself, then you are a puzzlement unto yourself, and you're baffled by your own behavior. And it means then that you lose control over yourself. It means that the forces of which you do not know from whence they come are the things now that are controlling your life.